Yo mate, what up? Welcome to the lawn tip vid. Alrighty, so today we're going to be talking about Wintergrass or Poa Annua or annual bluegrass. They're just a couple of names for it. So I'm going to be talking about ways to get rid of it out of your yard. Yeah. If you want to spot what wintergrass is, it's going to be the most lime green looking thing there. So that's it just there. And you can see the little seed head on top of it as well. There we go, so that's wintergrass. Let's pull some out. So that's wintergrass right there. So, the best ways to get rid of it, there's a couple of ways. Number one is giving your lawn nice deep waterings. So getting your water below that root zone of the wintergrass. Get a plug out of the ground. Yeah. Get that back nice and straight. So you can see down the bottom there's actually some roots from the tall fescue that have got that deep. That's nearly a foot down below. So wintergrass should only go about an inch deep. Still see heaps of tall fescue roots there. So have a look at that. That's the wintergrass root system just there. See, it doesn't go very deep at all. So that's why it needs heaps of water. It's because of how deep the root system is. Whereas your tall fescue grass, I mean, flip, that's gone all the way down to the bottom of that plug there. Because wintergrass has a really shallow root zone and actually doesn't like a short amount of water. A little amount of water, sorry. So if you give it nice deep waterings to your lawn, you'll find that you'll start to kill the wintergrass off slowly. You can also let your lawn dry out. It's easy to do in summer. Wintergrass will just naturally die off in summer anyway. But in the middle of winter here in Australia, wintergrass starts to flourish because the temperatures start to drop quite a bit. This year, surprisingly, we've had no rain, basically, whatsoever, where I live, and it's quite frustrating, but it gives me an opportunity to try out some things with the lawn. So I've actually not watered the lawn for the last couple of months, and I've found that the wintergrass is actually starting to slowly die. Well, where the sun hits anyway. Where the sun doesn't hit, the wintergrass is still thriving. So I'll just show you quickly. Right, so the yard looks quite nasty because it is so dry and affected by frostburn and many other things. Still growing though. Oh, I lie. I haven't mown the thing for 6 weeks. It's quite depressing. But if you have a look here, you can see quite a lot of a brown cast in a lot of areas. Now that's all wintergrass. Well, it was wintergrass. So basically it started to die off. You can see it there, all the seed head. It's all gone brown. That's all dying. Because I haven't been watering the lawn. It's got that, yeah man. You still trying to get my shed? What? What's wrong? You want to get in the shed? Alright. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, man. The second option is chemical control. So there's a pre-emergent called Pre-Emergent, or the trade name is Barricade. Now I'll be using that this year in spring and in autumn, just to stop weeds like crabgrass, Dallas grass, which is paspalum, and also the wintergrass, just to stop it from germinating. So basically Pre-Emergent stops the weed seeds in the actual soil surface from germinating. And now Pre-Emergent lasts up to 6 months, which is pretty sweet. 6 months is awesome. So this stuff's expensive. That was $250 Australian for a litre of that stuff, which is crazy. But I mean, the application rate's only 20 mil per 100 square meters, which is pretty thin. So it's going to last me a couple of years, that stuff. But you don't want to be just using the one product to Pre-Emergent as well, because your weed seeds will eventually be able to hold that off and it won't work against them. So you need to get something else as well. I recommend something like Dimension, which has dithiopyr as the active in it. That will work as well, using in conjunction with this. That's also quite expensive, that chemical, but it's handy stuff. Pre-Emergent's awesome stuff. The problem with this stuff is, if you want to seed your lawn, you're not going to be able to use it because it stops your actual grass seeds from germinating as well. So it works the same way as it works for weed seeds, stops everything from germinating. Now if you've never used Pre-Emergent before, I recommend starting a program this year. So in spring, when the temperatures start to rise above 12 degrees at night, 15 degrees at night, Now if you've got a nice thick lush lawn, there's a good chance you won't get any of those weeds affecting your lawn anyway. But I do recommend using a pre-emergent program. As I said, use Barricade or Dithiopyr, which is Dimension. That stuff's pretty good and you'll find it'll knock it quite well. But get a program going, make sure you mix those chemicals up, don't use the same ones because your weeds will become resistant to that eventually. And there is other pre-emergents next to that, but those are the two that I use and that I recommend. So with warm season grass, there's a couple of options. You can obviously use your pre-emergents as well. But you can also use some herbicides. So there's something called Poa, which the chemical in is endothol. That's one we use at work, so that's good for warm season grass. If you chuck that on your cool season grass, it's going to knock it pretty hard, so I wouldn't recommend using it on your cool season stuff. Last year I did use a product called Primo Max as well, which is actually a growth regulator. So it actually regulates the growth of your lawn. It actually suppresses the wintergrass slowly over time. It's not going to get an instant kill on it because it's not a herbicide, it's a growth regulator. So it will make your grass stop growing vertically, but it will suppress that wintergrass as well. A lot of people use it on their couch grass, Bermuda and their St. Augustine, just to give it a nice tight knit, because it really helps it just to spread sideways. It's good stuff. And in the end, you eventually want to get to your lawn to a point where it's thick enough so you don't have to be chucking chemical on it all the time, so you have got more of a organic program going with your lawn, because it's not nice chucking chemicals on your lawn every 6 months or something like that. So hopefully this year, after I chuck out this pre-emergent, I'm hoping not to do any next year. But yeah, you want to eventually get to a point where you're not using chemical on your lawn all the time. Thank you for watching, subscribe and like my videos if you like them, and you have a good week.